Hello guys, welcome to my channel for today. Welcome to my video. Welcome to my tutorial. My name is Shorten. I'm a Nigerian sewing blogger. I sew draft on a paper pattern. Now for today's tutorial, I'll show you guys how to calculate a body pattern. It's a way that I know, but I know will be easy for you to calculate. Now these are the circumference, body circumference I'll be working on. This is my bust of 36, waist 28, hip 40 inches. Now, for this, can see for this is like this measurement is small. It's not for just a big client. You can this waist, because if assuming it's for a big client, my waist will be 2. That will be the upper waist and the down waist. Maybe that person is sort of busty, sort of big. So now I'll be using a sort of fat. I'll be using the waist will be 2. Maybe the person is using normal waist of 40, down waist of 42. You can see how it goes. But for this I'm just using the bust of 36, waist 28, no down waist. It's only waist that is the upper waist. Then hip of 40. Now before you start your calculation, check the circumference, which is the upper circumference, the highest circumference that we use. You can see this 40 is higher than, is more than those waist and bust. Assuming for this bust is 40, for this hip is 36, I will use this bust to fold my fabric. Assuming the waist is 40, the bust is 36, while the hip is 36, I will use the waist to fold it because I want the highest measurement for my fabric, for folding out my fabric. Remember that it's not that you just say some people will be like, if you want to fold a short gown, if you want to fold a long gown, you make use of hip. No, you make use of the highest measurement, the highest circumference, where is the biggest part of your client's body. So for my client's body, the biggest part is hip of 40. You can see this 40 inches. Assuming I have bust that is big, I use the bust to fold my fabric. Then when folding your fabric into 2, you have to divide your clothes into your fabric into 4. So this hip will be 40. 40 divided by 4, I'm left with 40 divided by 4, which is 10. So now when folding your fabric, you have to fold your fabric with this. Make use of this 10 inches. Now before making it, you have to add the same allowance. Your allowance is actual allowance that will not waste your client's clothes, that will not be shortened by fabric, and will not make the clothes more useless. Why do you waste my clothes like this? Hey, no, all sorts of Nigerian words like that. Now just use 3 inches for the same allowance. Believe me, it's going to come out nice. Even if the client said the clothes is tight, you will have to amend it. Believe me, with these 3 inches, you are free to go. You are free to do everything. Now just add 3 inches, which is 13. So 13 inches will be the folding. Now you are going to fold your fabric into 4 places with the use of just 13 inches. Now you come out with just 13 inches. You fold the fabric with 13 inches. Just place it like this. You can see. So now because I've added, now what is the meaning of these 3 inches? What does it work for? Now let's go. These 3 inches that I added will be my 1 inches for my dart. This 1 inches for my dart. You can see 1 inches for my lining. Maybe I want to turn the lining out. You are using lining for your fabric. You can see. Then the remaining 1 inches will be my inner seam allowance. My inner seam allowance will be the remaining 1 inch. So this will be 1, 1, and 1. So this is the dart. You know, we use 1 inch for the dart. Believe me, not up to 1. You still left like 2/4 lining. You are not using this lining. Only 1 inch for your lining. You still use ½ inch. Now, but for inner seam allowance, you are left with 1. Now, when I am sewing my fabric, I used to left with 2 inches inside. Do you know why? Because this lining, I still have ½ inches on this lining. I still have 2/4 on this. Then half plus 2/4 was this 1. Everything will just round up 2 inches inside. Wow! You can see that you have enough seam allowance inside. Just add this 3 inches. It's okay. 1 inches for your dart, 1 for your lining, 1 for inner seam allowance. After turning your lining, after making of your dart, believe me, you are going to left with 2 inches inside. Even if your client said this cloth is tight, believe me, you can't even lose out 2 inches for a client. Like that is, you do not measure the client very well, or maybe you have measured the client like 4 years ago, but you just measure the client exactly with your real measurement that you use. Believe me, just half inches you lose out. So with this seam allowance that I just laid down, this 3 inches, believe me, you are going to come out with enough seam allowance inside. So just add 10 inches. 1 inches for my dart, 1 for my lining, 1 for my inner seam allowance. You can see how lovely the calculation is. Just fold your fabric to 2, then you left with just 2 inches. Make sure to add zip allowance at the back, which is 1.5. Some can use 2, some can use 1, but for mine I use 1.5 because I'm going to use half inches. I use 1.5 for my zipper allowance because I'm still going to use half for the line to turn my zip allowance. The remaining one will just be the real zip allowance. Now you can see how lovely it is. Now let me just go for this waist. Maybe a client of using waist of 40. Using waist of 40. Now let me write it here. Waist of upper waist. Yes, just write upper waist of 40, down waist of 42, hip of 41, then bust of 36. You can see for right here I'm having another 2 waists, the upper waist and the down waist. So for this what I just did now, you are not going to use the hip anymore to calculate. You are going to use the down waist for your calculation because the down waist is more than. If you use the hip measurement for it, now when drafting it out, because for me when folding my fabric, I used to draft out the bigger pattern by right folding it. Now the down waist now will not come out because this is lower than the down waist. So for what I just written down now, you can see that the down waist will be for the folding. So this will be the folding. You will use this 42 inches for the folding, not this hip anymore. But for what I did here, I just used the 28 inches because the 28 inches, I just used the 40 inches rather, because this 40 is the highest circumference, the highest measurement for my client. But for what I just write here, what I wrote here, this hip of 41, down waist of 42, upper waist of 40. So I'm going to use 42 inches for your fabric folding. You have to fold the fabric by 42 inches, which is divided into 4, which is 10.5. Then just add your 3 inches seam allowance. That is 1 inches for the dart, 1 for lining, then 1 for inner seam allowance. So this dart I will still remain with 2 inches, 2/4. Then for the lining, half quarter. Then believe me, my inner seam allowance is going to be 2 inches inside for the seam allowance. And remember to add your zipper allowance to all your fabric. Don't forget that. Now you can see how this tutorial is, how this video is. If you really like this video, give this video a thumbs up or click on the subscribe button, click on the like button also. Thanks for watching my video. Bye.